Oh, wow, that was weird. Okay, so we're here. I'm not in the classroom today. What's different about the distance learning? I don't know if you guys are into that. I mean, I know some schools are back to schools and whatnot, but here in California, we're not. I do have cousins in San Diego who are going back in October, but in my district, no, it's not happening. So anyway, so what we do for distance learning on Monday is mostly independent day, which means the kids have stuff to do. And I get to sit here at the computer and answer questions all day long and talk to all these amazing parents and how stressed out they are. Because guess what? Teachers are stressed out too. We don't like this. We're ready to be back. Anyways. So today we have a glorious day. A glorious day. And we get Monday Night Football and we get to watch the New Orleans Saints play the Las Vegas Raiders. Isn't that weird? Isn't that really weird to say? The Las Vegas Raiders. Being from Northern California and being a Raider fan, I've still caught myself a few times saying the Oakland Raiders. It's going to be tough for me to say that, but I'm actually really excited to see this game tonight. I'm really excited to see this new stadium. I mean, going to Raider games and even going to the A's games and going that piece of shit. Oh my God, we have sewage problems. We have literally you can't go to the bathroom if you are if you are a fan of a different team. There's many things that you can't do in that piece of shit stadium. But now they don't have to go there anymore. It's glorious. It's glorious. And now the Raiders get what they deserve and they finally got a brand new stadium and I'm excited. Anyways, tired of hearing me talk about my fandom with the Oakland Raiders. They did it again. Las Vegas Raiders. Let's talk about some fucking football. Let's talk about some football. So, first thing I want to do is dive in about what's going on right now. So, as of right now, today I woke up and I noticed the first thing was the spread that the Saints were -6. Now, I felt like that was a little too much. I really do. I think the Saints, if the Saints were at home, I might think a little differently. But the Saints are -6 on the road with no Michael Thomas. And it looks like we might be seeing a little regression from our boy Drew Brees. -6 seems a little bit too high for me. So, regardless, if I was a betting man, I would take Vegas all day. I think that's too much. Anyway, so let's talk about the Raiders tonight. Now, when I talk about the pricing, it's going to be DraftKings related. He's in. What's up, bro? It's going to be DraftKings related, so my pricing might not be the same if you were talking about FanDuel, but the process is still the same, in my opinion. So let's talk about it. So I want to talk about the Raiders, and the first person I really want to talk about is no other than the man himself, Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs. This is the same Josh Jacobs that people still say Miles Sanders is better than. And I've talked to a lot of the boys, and they all about Miles Sanders, this and that. Bullshit. It's not this. It's not. Come on. Josh Jacobs. Okay. So week 1, let's say this. Before the season started, there was a lot of shit going on in the media, especially in the Bay Area sports media, that Josh Jacobs was going to get a lot more catches this season. They are going to feed him the ball. And then when Tyrell Williams went down with that injury, the dude's always fucking hurt. I just like, this is going to happen. It's going to happen. If I would have known Tyrell Williams was going to be hurt before I did my fantasy drafts, I might have went all in on Josh Jacobs, but I didn't. Anyways, perfect, bro. I'm glad it worked, man. Awesome. So let's talk about it. Yesterday, I dropped some fucking legit notes in the Discord. If you're not part of the Discord, I don't know what you're doing. Really cheap, $15, and you're getting all the shit. You're getting football notes, sheets, tennis, golf, all that. Anyways, so Josh Jacobs week 1. He had not 20 carries. He had 25 carries. 25! That's fucking nuts. 25? And on those 25 carries, he saw 6 targets. 25 carries, guys. That's like CMC plus. That's a 3-down back. That is extreme bell cow service right there. Josh Jacobs was the Raiders last week when they beat Carolina. Josh Jacobs is one of the main reasons why we won. The Raiders lost Ruggs early in the second quarter, and I was like, holy shit, this is Raider football for you. Because Josh Jacobs came in and handled business. So again, 25 carries and 6 targets. The workload is massive. It's massive. 3-snap bell cow, pretty much. Now you have all these, so obviously when you're thinking about building tonight, if you fade him, you're stupid. You're dumb. But we're going to talk about some cons in a second. Let's get through the list. So after Josh Jacobs, we have Ingle, Booker, Richard, right? All scraps, in my opinion. I think they're fine for MME, but I wouldn't expect much. I think if I had to pick one out of the 3, it would be Richard, based off, if we're going off Vegas total, and we're really thinking about game script, Richard should see some catches in the backfield, right? He has mostly been used for that. So I would definitely have Richard part of my player pool. I wouldn't go crazy with him. But what have we noticed the last couple showdowns? It's always that random fucking guy, right? Always that random guy. We're going to talk about this a little bit later. So those 3 guys are, if you're running 150 plus or just 150 and you want exposure to a little bit of everybody, I would probably go a little bit heavier on Richard, but I would have a tad bit exposure to Booker and Ingle just in case something crazy happens, right? And they're going to be low. They're going to be low, like, I don't know, 2%, 3%. Maybe a little higher, but not too much. So that's kind of how I see the running backs, right? Jacobs, no doubter. Don't overthink it. But here's the problem I'm having, and it really sucks to say this because one of the main ways I see the Raiders winning tonight is Josh Jacobs. But the Saints are one of the best run defenses in the league, and I think people seem to forget that. They really are. They're one of the best at stopping the run. And we even saw more of that week 1 against Tampa Bay where they completely shut down Ronald Jones and Fournette looked like fucking garbage, right? I mean, regardless of what he did this week, he still sucks. So don't let any tout tell you any differently. But, anyways. So that scares me, though. That does scare me. Does it limit his ceiling a little bit based off that number? If I had to make a wild guess, yes. They have to be planning to stop him. They have to know we have to do whatever it takes to stop Jacobs. We got to make Carr throw the fucking ball. And as a Raider fan, fuck Carr. God, that guy's a headache. Anyways, Jacobs is still an elite play, no matter what you say. No matter all these cons I'm telling you, no matter what, Jacobs is going to get the volume. He's going to get the catches. And that's what we want for these showdown slates. We want people who are getting volume. We want people who can make things happen. We want people who can score touchdowns. And Josh Jacobs is your guy. So if you're taking notes, in this order, obviously, Jacobs, Richard, and then I would probably go Booker, Ingle. Doesn't really matter. Those 2 are kind of like 50-50 for me. So that's kind of how I look at it. Now, let's talk about the Raiders wide receivers. We got Ruggs. Now, when I was watching the NFL draft, the first thing that came to my mind when we drafted Ruggs is why? Why would you pass on CeeDee Lamb? Why would you do that? Man, Ruggs, even in that short amount of time that he's shown week 1, looks like a stud. And I don't think Carr is shy on leaning on him. So Ruggs week 1 plays 67% of the snaps before he got hurt. He hurt like he had a little knee tweak or something like that. But he's fine. He's good to go today. Is he going to be 100%? I don't know. I don't think so, unless he just has some magic juice. I hope he does. But, I mean, he plays 67% of the snaps, got hurt, didn't play again. I personally believe that if he didn't get hurt, we're looking at 80+%. I don't think he sits a snap. I don't think he does. Now, today might be a little bit different because I think that they are going to probably be safe, especially with that knee injury, and especially seeing how many freaking injuries we saw yesterday. I don't think they're going to push him to the max. I don't think they're going to be like, okay, go up there 100% of the snaps, don't get hurt. I think we'll definitely see higher. I think we're going to see the 80% range. I would not be shocked. Especially if this game script is leaning towards what Vegas says, Ruggs is going to eat out there. He's going to get the ball and get the targets. Now, the only con that I really have with Ruggs, and we're going to talk about why I'm not super stressed about it, especially in the showdown slate. It's almost like beneficial for us. It's because he's going to have Lattimore shadowing him the whole game. Going to be covering him. He's going to be on him. Rookie versus Lattimore. Lattimore knows how to get in players' heads. He knows how to get people upset. Is Ruggs going to be that type of guy that's just like, fuck you, bro, I'm going to handle this? Could be, right? Could be that man. But again, I don't see me going low on him, especially in my car stacks. Like, why would you not have Ruggs in that lineup? Why would you not? So Ruggs is definitely an elite play in my opinion. Elite. The next guy I want to talk about is Edwards. He played 67% of the snaps last week, and he is only 4,800. 67%. No one's really talking about Brian Edwards. You guys know what I'm talking about? Another rookie that the Raiders drafted. Another rookie that I think was a steal. I do. And I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of hate over here. But again, he's only 4,800, and he played damn near 70% of the snaps in week 1. In a game script theory, we can see that up, right? We can see that 70%. We can see that 75%. I don't see Edwards not getting the work. And at that price, in the better matchup, and the ownership difference, I would almost prefer, based off how much you're spending, I almost prefer Edwards just a little bit more. I do. But again, I'm going to have a lot of Carr Edwards stacks. I'll probably have a lot of Carr, Ruggs, Jacobs, those types of things going on. And that's the type of stuff I'll talk about in Discord. So Edwards is definitely a top play. We have Hunter Renfrow, my boy Zero, online star. He loves these boys named Renfrow. I don't know what it is. He got a crush on them, I guess. Shout out to Zero. Anyways, Hunter Renfrow is 5,800, and he plays in the slot, and I love playing players in the slot. I don't know what it is. I just think it's the volume. It's the volume machine, right? Especially if the Raiders' O-line starts collapsing a little bit, which I don't really see. I think their O-line is pretty good. You'll see a lot of short passes from Carter Renfrow. The only issue that I have with Renfrow is that his upside is very little. He doesn't have that big of an upside. He would have to hit on a deep throw, which he's done. But at that price, I'm not making it a must. Will he be part of my car stacks? Sure. I would make sure I have some. If you're playing 1 to 3 max, I probably wouldn't. I mean, unless you really want to get risky, right? He won't be owned. I highly doubt it. So what if you wanted to go Carr, Edwards, Renfrow, Waller, and fade Ruggs? I think that makes some leverage play right there. You're fading the chalk. Ruggs is going to be chalk. Everyone's going to play. So you can do like that. So I definitely would have these guys in your player pool, right? Let's see. I wrote all these notes down during a classroom meeting. Don't yell at me. The rest of the wide receivers, we have Nelson Aguilar, Zay Jones. Then we have Jason Witten. You guys forget he's on the Raiders? And Foster Moreau. And Witten Moreau are tight ends, but I'm just going to put him in the same bunch. I think they're MME targets. I think they should be in your player pool. We saw like Nelson Aguilar week 1 had 1 catch for a touchdown, like a 60-yard bomb. Is it possible he does it today? Yeah. He's fucking expensive though. He's 5,800 and he had 1 catch week 1. 1 catch. I don't know about that. I mean, are people going to play him? I don't know. I got to think about how I want to handle that. I think he's too expensive, especially after the borrowing that we saw. But I mean, if Ruggs is getting shadowed, it looks crappy, and we're playing from behind. I say we because I'm a Raiders fan. Sorry. The Raiders are playing from behind. Could he see more work? Sure. Is it risky? But that's the kind of things you have to do when you're playing these showdowns. Take a risk. It's always that random dude. Anyways, if I had to pick out of the bunch, like I said, Aguilar, Zay Jones, Witten, Maru, I would probably pick Zay Jones based off price. That's about it. I don't think anyone's going to play Zay Jones either. I really don't. Again, I'm not excited about that much. I'm really not. But I think one guy that you definitely need to go heavier on in this game would be none other than Darren Waller, ex-Raven practice squad. Could you imagine if the Ravens kept Waller and they ran like Andrews and Waller together? Woo. Anyways, Darren Waller is 7,400 on DK. He is not a typical tight end. He gets fed like a wide receiver. So he's like a Travis Kelce volume type of guy. He really is. Now, we're not going to get – he's not a deep threat, so you're not going to see a bomb from Carr to Waller. But, I mean, you really don't see that too much with tight ends as a whole already. But, I mean, we saw Jonnu Smith score, like, a 70-yard touchdown yesterday. That was fucking nuts. But I don't think Waller can be that guy. I don't think we're going to see a 70-yard bomb. Do I see – 6 to 8 targets? Yeah. Do I see possibility for 1 to 2 touchdowns? Sure do. And he's 7,400, which is a decent price for him. I really think so. So Waller would be one of my favorite Raiders to play today. All right, so that's pretty much it for the Raiders. We talked about how the Saints' run D is fucking stout. We talked about the backup running backs really not being that big of a thing, right? Besides Richard, who could get some work today. We talked about Jacobs as being the 3-down bell cow. I mean, we're seeing volume, we're seeing carries. Regardless of matchup, I don't think that changes today either. Talked about wide receivers. We have Ruggs not being 100% against Lattimore. Still not telling you to fade him. Still a good play. We also talked about Bryan Edwards, another guy, sneaky guy in my opinion. 4,800, 67% of the snaps. Gonna get work today. He's gonna get work today. He has to get work today. If Jacobs can't do anything, we're gonna see Carr have to throw the ball, which sucks. Which does, but we don't. Whatever. And then we talk about Hunter Renfrow. A little expensive. Floor is not too high. I'm sorry, ceiling's not too high. Can he break out for a touchdown? Yeah, sure. So, I mean, have him in your player pool, but again, if you're not playing like me, I play 150 max, whatever it is, I wouldn't, if you're playing 1 to 3 lineups, I probably wouldn't touch him. Waller being obvious play. And then you have the rest of the wide receiving core that's kind of just fillers. Okay, so that's the Raiders for you. Let's talk about the Saints. Before I get in there, I've already mentioned multiple times, I'm a big Raider fan. It is what it is. But tonight, I need Drew Brees to score like 4 touchdowns. And I need Waller to score like 2 touchdowns so I can actually win week 1. I've had like 6 injuries in 2 weeks. I've lost Barkley, Michael Thomas, Sutton, Mustard, Galladay, gone. Why did I even play this year? So anyways, my only chance tonight to not go 0-2 is to have Brees have a day, which means this game needs to be exciting. So, talk about the Saints. All right, so this morning I woke up and I saw a lot of lineups already with Kamara at captain. It's going to be chalky. It's going to be chalky. We know that. But there's no Michael Thomas. And so that's why he's chalky for a good reason. But let's talk about it. First of all, let's talk about it. So he played 66% of the snaps and saw 12 carries week 1. And he also saw 8 targets. That's pretty good, right? Pretty good. My main problem would probably be this. If the Saints are ahead by quite a bit, I could see Kamara not getting the volume that would excel that would surpass his price. And I think that's a little edge that you can kind of think when you're building your pools. And maybe, I don't know. I don't know. That's tough. But again, it's Kamara with no Michael Thomas. But what I'm really thinking that's going to happen in this situation, I can see this happening. I can see that the Saints don't want to give Kamara 20-plus carries. They don't see him as that guy. He's got injury problems. He's been hurt. They just lost their best player. Last thing they want to do is lose their second-best player. I mean, we're seeing injuries happen left and right? So I don't think we're going to see 20-plus carries from him. I don't know what people are thinking. He's not that guy. But I can see this. I can see with Michael Thomas out that they're going to move Kamara to the wide receivers. Like I can see him playing a lot of wide receivers tonight. I can see it. I can see the targets going up. I can see him being the heavier targeted guy, which in PPR, which is what DK is built around, that is what we want. So even in a situation where they are winning by quite a bit, they have to score regardless. So I think Kamara could easily get there PPR wise. I'm not telling you to fade him. He's still one of my favorite players on the slate. I'm just trying to explain to you some situations with that. I also think that people are thinking the Raiders' defense is fucking awful. I don't think they're that bad. I don't. I think our D-line has gotten a lot better. I'm worried about the corners. Yes, a lot of rookies out there. But I just don't see – I don't know. Kamara is definitely going to be heavy on. And guys, I can't get my mind on it. I just can't figure it out. Anyways, let's talk about Latavius Murray and then we'll go back. So Latavius Murray finally getting some chatter. Former Oakland Raider. He saw 34% of the snaps and had 15 carries. That's a lot for 34% of the snaps. Now, if my theory is correct and they move Kamara out to the wide receiver, Latavius is going to be their main guy, right? Could we see higher percent snap rate? Oh, yeah. And he's only 3,400 on DK. He's only 3,400. He's so cheap. Do I see the carries going up? If game script is in Saints' favor, which Vegas thinks, without a doubt. Oh, yeah. I'm thinking possibly 15, 18. Shit, maybe even 20. If he got 20, could you imagine? But I don't know. I think 15, 18 would be my guess. 20 would be like, whoa. But anyways, Latavius Murray, I think he's an elite play. I think he's elite. I think he can get there. Can you play Kamara and Latavius Murray together? Without a doubt. Without a doubt. They work fine. Especially if Kamara moves out to wide receiver. It doesn't really hurt you too much. So I love Latavius Murray. Let's see. So Kamara, Murray. Okay, wide receivers. My first wide receiver I'm talking about Tre'Quan Smith. He played 65% of the snaps week 1, and he's going against Damian Arnett, who the Raiders just drafted this year. I think Arnett is a good corner. I think he's good, but he's a rookie. The rookies make mistakes. You saw this last week, week 1, where Arnett just miscommunication, fucking didn't know what to do, and Robbie Anderson scored like a 70-yard bomb. Is that possible with Tre'Quan Smith tonight? Yeah. Tre'Quan Smith is fast. He can make things work. One little mistake, guys. It's all it takes to change the whole slate. So, yeah, Tre'Quan Smith is definitely in play at 6,400, and he's one of my favorite Saint plays today, which I probably didn't need to tell you because I'm sure you guys are all in on him, right? So, love Tre'Quan Smith. The second one I'll talk about is Deontay Harris. He's 2,400. He's more of a deep threat, and I just think I don't expect anything huge from him tonight, but I think he's a perfect filler in with your Breeze stacks. I'll probably have quite a bit at 2,400. Yeah, so if you're running like Breeze stacks, you could go Breeze Smith, Harris, and maybe fade the chalk, or put in Kamara, pick your pick, whatever. So I like Deontay Harris a lot. I think you can play him in any game theory. Now the next guy is everybody is on. Everyone, every single person, every place I've read, every comment I've seen, Emmanuel Sanders. He's 8,800. We know he's going to be heavy tough. Now, do I see the volume going up for him today? Yeah. Emmanuel Sanders is good at football. When he's on the field, he's good, right? He's a good player. Would love to have him. But I'm a little bit worried about the offense being spread out, especially with Thomas gone. I think Breeze will spread out a lot more. I think he will. We're going to see a lot of weird plays tonight. He's going to have to. So I'm a little worried about Emmanuel Sanders. I'm not going to totally fade him, but honestly, I might take a stand and go under the field. He's 8,800, and I have this weird theory that because of no preseason, we have these new players going to new teams with new quarterbacks they've never played with and not really having that connection just yet. I think the only connection I've seen so far, and I could be totally wrong, is Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen. But I mean, I can't think of another wide receiver that has had an insane game the first 2 weeks on a new team. And I don't count Robbie Anderson because that was a mistake. That was a mistake play. So I'm worried about that. And I think that's a good edge. I think if you go under the field on Emmanuel Sanders and go heavier on the other guys, I think you can stand out. Now, I'm not telling you to fade Emmanuel Sanders. I'm going to have plenty of him in my Breeze stacks. I probably just won't have that much. So again, don't fade Emmanuel Sanders. Let me go under the field a little bit. Unless you feel totally different. You're like, Frank, you're stupid. Emmanuel Sanders can get fed. Do what you got to do. But for me personally, I'm probably going to go a little bit on the field. Now, here is, hands down, in my opinion, the best play on the Saints. Besides Kamara. I mean, Kamara is the safest play. Jared Cook. Jared Cook had the most targets and catches for the Saints week 1. I think that continues tonight against his old team. Jared Cook is a red zone threat. He's middle of the field target. Jared Cook just does it all. I love the guy. I think he's a great football player, and I think that still continues tonight. I think the Raiders will struggle. They will struggle to guard him. So I want a lot of Jared Cook. I might even go a little bit heavier on captain plays for him. I can easily see 2 touchdowns for him tonight. Easily. But we got to hope this game stays in game script theory that we want, especially in those steps. Right? Love Jared Cook. Love him. Great play. Okay. And another thing I want to talk about with Emmanuel Sanders really quickly before I start talking about captains and whatnot. He's going against Trayvon Mullins, and he's actually pretty decent, right? He's a pretty good corner. He's not bad. He's really not. So I think he can give Sanders some trouble tonight. Again, that's just my thought process on Emmanuel Sanders. Don't fade him, but maybe go on the field just a tad. Okay. So captains for me today are a little weird because I don't really love too much, but I feel like that's the type of game you kind of need to spread out your captain exposure. So let's just talk about it. So in order right now, my captains, I have Kamara, Cook, Jacobs, Waller, Traquan Smith, Ruggs, and then I have Sanders, and then I have Edwards because I'm not super sure of his ceiling, but I feel like he could be a sneaky play. That's kind of how I look at it today. I mean, Kamara is a no-brainer, but I mean, if you can get that leverage and kind of go lower on him and he has a dud game, you're sitting pretty. So that's how I'm looking at my captains. So yeah. So now, really quickly, I'm going to talk to you about how I do my normal builds when I'm putting together my crunches because I've had a lot of questions about that. So I've been studying a lot of optimal lineups, and I have found that most of the lineups are actually 3x3 builds. And I do see some 4x2. 3x3 builds is kind of like saying, Raiders, 3 players, 1 is a captain, Saints, 3 players, flexes. And then 4x2, same process, right? 4 would obviously be 1 be the captain, and then 2 would just be the flexes. So what I do when I do my builds is that when I do my 150, I'll do half 3x3 Raiders captain, half Saints 3x3 Saints captains, same process, 4x2, whatever. So that's kind of how I do my builds when I'm running showdowns. What I've also found is that defenses really are not super optimal as of right now. I haven't found it. It seems like defenses are getting priced pretty high up, and you kind of need a pick 6, and you kind of need a lot of sacks, and you kind of need all this stuff for it even to pay off. So I wouldn't like slam it. Oh, okay, we're back. Sorry, guys, I had a computer problem. But yeah, so that's kind of how I do it. Now, I use Fantasy Cruncher. So when I use my Fantasy Cruncher, the first 2 steps that I will do is I will set my stacking. I'll do QB, and with at least 2 players from this group. It would be running back, tight end, wide receivers. Most of the time it's 3. It would be 2. Yeah. So I would do like Ruggs, Jacobs, Edwards, all those guys, throw them in there. Same thing for the Saints. Now, when I'm running my stacks, I make sure I grab all the offensive weapons that I think will be essential for this player to have a good day. And then whatever other players show up in my MME, I just kind of leave it go. Right? I just let it run. Because, I mean, last night, I'm so tilted off this. Last night, I was taking down the mini-max. Taking it down. Fucking excited. But then, what's his name on the fucking Cowboys? Swain showed up in my crunches before the game, and I said, hell no. I don't even know who that guy is. I don't want to do it. Scored a touchdown. And he went, it sucks, right? So sometimes you got to think about that. These weird players in your mind that you're thinking, oh, no, God, no. Sometimes they pay off, and that low ownership, that puts you way above. So I think if you're maxing out tournaments, you need to have those guys in your lineups. Don't take them out. If you're playing 1 to 3 max or you're playing cash, they're not needed. So that's kind of how I'm looking at today, guys. I'm super excited. It's going to be a fun game. I hope you guys make a lot of money today. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me on Twitter, or you can hit up DFS headquarters on Twitter as well. Send them a message, join it, get in that Slack chat, and let's make some money tonight. All right? Hope you guys have a good rest of your day. I will see you guys at the top.